to DC vs. Marvel month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, we're checking out something from 2009. That something is Hulk versus. Now, the reason why I called it a something as opposed to a movie is because it's not a movie. It's two movies. Marvel put out a Hulk double feature back in 2009, wherein, in both films, Hulk fights against various Marvel heroes. In one of them, it's Hulk versus Thor, so Hulk's going to fight Thor. Awesome. I don't know anything else about that one except for the fact that it's only 45 minutes long. In the other one is Hulk versus Wolverine, where Hulk fights Wolverine. And I know that Deadpool, Sabretooth, and a few other characters show up in that one, and that one's only 38 minutes long. I know that because I'm pulling the runtimes off the back of the Blu-ray case, so I could be totally wrong on that too, because a couple of the runtimes on the back of that thing have been wrong before. Anyway, that is neither here nor, there. I have no idea if these things are going to be any good at all. I do know I'm not a big fan of the Hulk, but I'm thinking maybe two far shorter films where I have to deal with less Hulk might actually make it a little bit more tolerable. I have no idea. The only way I'm going to find out, guys, if these things are any good at all, is if I shut up and I push play. And I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Hulk versus. Guys, the more I think about Loki's big evil plan in this film, the stupider it sounds. So, Loki summoned the Hulk, citing that Hulk is the creature that has come closest to beating Thor, meaning Hulk can't beat Thor anyway, as has been proven. Decides to take Banner out of the Hulk, because Banner is the one thing which controls the Hulk, and using the Enchantress's magic, Loki is now controlling Hulk. Loki himself cannot beat Thor. This whole plan sounds stupider the more I fucking think about it. I basically know for a fact that Thor is going to win. The movie pretty much stated it when they said that Hulk has come closest to beating him, still couldn't get it fucking done. Kind of renders this entire fight I'm watching right now kind of pointless. So, Thor and Loki were able to get back Banner's soul because Loki informed Hela that Banner's soul is only half of a soul, because apparently the Hulk counts as part of Bruce Banner's soul. No, it really doesn't. Because Bruce Banner existed long before the Hulk was ever a thing. The Hulk was like a mutation caused by gamma rays from a fucking bomb blast. That has nothing to do with Bruce Banner's... God damn it, man. The logic in this movie is fucking retarded. And I understand, guys, that Marvel sometimes has a hard time making logical sense out of shit. But this is stupid even by those standards. This is fucking retarded. Well, guys, that's it for Hulk versus Thor, and Jesus Christ, was that ever fucking stupid. So now I get to fire up the other one. Oh, joy of joys. Certainly hoping it's better than Hulk versus Thor. It almost has to be. It really does. I don't think Hulk versus Wolverine is going to be half as stupid as what I just saw. And it's shorter, so even if it is stupider, at least my pain will be short-lived. So, I guess it's time for us to fire it up, huh? Well, guys, we just got done watching the big fight between Wolverine and Hulk, and what do you know? Hulk essentially pounded Wolverine into a fine paste. Of course, we know that Wolverine's healing factor is going to kick in, and he's going to reform into the same horribly voiced mess that we've seen for the past, not sure how many minutes, but oh well, at least we got to see the fight, and it was kind of fun watching friggin' Wolverine get his fucking shit royally pushed in, you know what I mean? I'd like to say this, guys, I understand that the writers of this film, they wanted to make Deadpool, witty and funny and, quirky. They failed at that. if anything, Deadpool is just irritating. Really fucking irritating. I would love it if Deadpool would die in this thing, but I know that obviously is not going to happen. So every time that Deadpool is on camera, I die just a little bit inside because I know we're going to get more failed attempts at humor. Really bad failed attempts at humor. God, this is gonna suck, dude. Well, guys, that was Hulk versus Wolverine. Thank fuck that was so short, because, man, that really sucked. Let's just shut the shit off. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, wow, I was expecting this to be kind of decent. And I'm not talking about Hulk versus Wolverine. I was hoping for like both halves of this thing to be decent, but both of them are riddled with problems that just kind of ruin the whole thing. So let's start with writing. If I had to say which one had the stronger writing, good God. Because, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, neither of them have strong fucking writing, okay? Because with Hulk versus Thor, we have this idiotic story that makes no goddamn sense. Where Loki has this idiotic, evil fucking plan, and Hela apparently is a retard because she thinks that, you know, Hulk's soul and Banner's soul are basically like two halves of the same whole, even though I don't even think that the Hulk has a soul, because Hulk is essentially just a temper tantrum in fucking incarnate, so probably doesn't have a soul at all. That's just me trying to inject logic into something that never wanted to have logic in the first fucking place. In fact, there's the big problem with Hulk versus Thor is you sit there and you watch it, and if you think about it for more than 3 fucking seconds, it winds up being absolutely brain-dead bullshit. And as for Hulk versus Wolverine, well, the title is a horrendously miss fucking leading title, because Hulk actually fighting Wolverine is a very small portion of the film. In fact, Hulk barely features in the fucking movie. Like, we have the fight between Hulk and Wolverine at the start, and then we have the final act, but then everything in the middle is essentially just the merry fucking adventures of Wolverine and Weapon X, as Weapon X is trying to get Wolverine back into the fold, and Weapon X has this plot where they're going to try to weaponize the Hulk, which is probably the stupidest idea you could ever do in a fucking comic, which is why I always cringe whenever that plot comes up. It comes up quite often, shockingly. And the fucking characterization in Hulk versus Wolverine is terrible. As I stated, they tried to make Deadpool like quirky and witty and funny, and that should have worked. It really should have worked, because you can write Deadpool funny, but you see, guys, the problem with Deadpool as a character is there's a very thin line between Deadpool being funny and Deadpool being irritating. And this thing did not tread on that line and sometimes hit both sides. No, it was irritating all day, every day. Deadpool sucked. And a lot of people say that Deadpool's the best thing about the fucking movie. And they're right. So that means that the most irritating character in the whole film is the only reason to fucking watch it, because nobody else has any fucking personality to speak of. Holy shit. I will say that characterization and dialogue is better in Hulk versus Thor, but then again, that's because there was actually an attempt to tell a fucking story there, albeit a rather poorly thought out story. Hulk versus Wolverine is basically just a sad fucking excuse to essentially retell Wolverine's origin, and have Wolverine and Sabretooth and Deadpool and Deathstrike and Omega Red all in the same film at the same time, and then throw in the Hulk just because, fuck you, we need to put the Hulk in there. So if oh my god, fuck, I'm still trying to pick which one I would say has the better writing, but they both suck. I'd almost have to say Hulk versus Thor has the better writing, if for no other reason than, even though the story's fucking stupid, at least if you shut off your fucking brain, it's fun. And the dialogue is decent, the characters are actually kind of sort of likable, and Hulk versus Wolverine has none of that. Acting. I'm just going to make this point right now. I'm going to state it this one time, and I'm going to try not to bring it up anymore, because I know people are probably sick and tired of me beating this fucking horse as often as I have. Steve Blum cannot act. Cannot. The man has no vocal fucking range. So putting him in here as fucking Wolverine and having him sit there and growl out and drone out his fucking lines is nothing short of disgusting, and it just grates on you throughout the entire film because he puts no feeling into it. He seriously is just trying to make sure that his voice is rasped out as far as he can drag it, and he doesn't fucking try. I happen to remember a time when Steve Blum actually tried, which is back when he worked on Cowboy fucking Bebop. Everything since then has been shit. I'm gonna try to avoid talking about him anymore because, goddammit, I'm hoping that someday he just goes the fuck away and never returns to acting. So what about the rest of the cast across both films? The rest of the cast is pretty good. Nolan North, God fucking bless him, he was given horrible dialogue to work with as fucking Deadpool. But at least his fucking performance kind of worked. And during the one, maybe two, actually kind of funny quips he gets as Deadpool, when he has those, he makes them fucking work. He makes them work incredibly well. Because Nolan North, even though his acting can sometimes suck depending on the role, when he actually tries, Nolan North can be decent. I personally don't think he's a good casting choice for Deadpool, but that's just me. So we have him, and he turns in a pretty good job. Tatishaw's in both films. Fred fucking Tatishaw's in both films, and he is the voice of the Hulk. I always like it better when Tatishaw can actually act instead of being forced to play the Hulk, where he just does nothing but growl. He does nothing but growl and scream and nothing else. That is especially noticeable in Hulk versus Thor, when one of the big plot points is you take fucking Banner out of the Hulk, so now Hulk is literally just a screaming, snarling bag of nothing. At least in Hulk versus Thor, he does get to talk a little bit. It's just not that interesting. So acting here, guys, I'm going to tell you is solid, minus the one casting choice that I still don't know why the fuck they continue to cast him. I'm not going to go into it any further. Just I'm fucking disappointed every single time I see him cast, because you can get people who are so much better. Anyway, so acting here is for the most part decent, which is startling considering the fact that normally when you hand somebody scripts that are this fucking awful, they normally don't really want to fucking try. And while there may be like a couple here, a couple there who really aren't trying much, I can tell you that whoever the hell they cast as Sabretooth obviously didn't, fucking care. But almost everybody else tried, and almost everyone else turns in something decent, which is always cool. I like that. Animation. Art style and animation. We are treated to two different art styles here across these two films. So that means that the look of Hulk versus Thor is greatly different from what's in Hulk versus Wolverine. I will say that the art style in Hulk versus Thor is a hell of a lot cooler looking. It honestly is a lot smoother. Mouth fucking movements are a lot better in Hulk versus Thor, where in Hulk versus Wolverine it looks kind of sort of janky and shit, and characters seem to, stretch out a little bit more. It's a little bit more fucking cartoony, which doesn't really work for the story or for the characters, and it just didn't look right to me. So if I had to pick, Hulk versus Thor wins in terms of animation. By the way, voice acting, Hulk versus Thor wins by fucking default because it wasn't saddled with that cancerous waste. Again, not going to go into much more detail on that. Honestly, guys, I guess I can say this right now. If I had to pick between these two, I would say that Hulk versus Thor is certainly the better film, even though in terms of story, it is by far the stupider of the fucking two. Just simply because of the plot involved. But let's finish talking about these. Good God, there actually is a little bit of CG. I noticed it more in Hulk versus Thor, and it looked terrible. I really didn't notice any real CG in Hulk versus fucking Wolverine. So I guess I can say that in terms of CG, Hulk versus Wolverine certainly gets the edge, simply because it didn't have much, and it didn't have any that was really noticeable. And Hulk versus Thor did, and it looked like shit. Our sound mix across both films is fine. Our sound effects in both films are great. Our music in both films are fine. Ultimately, guys, when all is said and done, can I recommend Hulk versus? if you're a huge Marvel fan, sure, because you will already have a predisposed thought about Hulk, Thor, Wolverine, Omega Red, Deathstrike, Deadpool, all of these characters. And if you like them, you're probably going to like this. Me, I am not really a huge Marvel fan. I'm not a huge Hulk fan. I really think I'm a bit biased towards Hulk versus Thor, because I actually kind of like Thor. So, which is more than I could say about, almost every character in Hulk versus Wolverine. So at least there is, that. I guess I would say rent it if you can find a copy to rent somewhere, or if you can rent it off of Hulu or Amazon or Netflix or whatever the fuck. By all means, rent it, watch it, and if you like it, buy it. But holy shit, do not pay full fucking price for it. If you can find this thing for $5, I'd say go for it. But anything higher, hell no. This thing is not worth any more than that. This honestly, guys, is a little bit of a letdown. I have watched a lot of animated Marvel movies this month. This fucking twosome is probably the weakest because of just how bad the writing is across both stories. Because one of them actually does have a very strong Hulk, story, which is brought down by the fact that nothing involving Loki makes any logical fucking sense. Everything with Loki and Hela makes no logical sense, and your brain is going to die a little bit as you think about it. The other one is essentially a Wolverine film with Hulk violently shoehorned in there, and it's basically just a retelling of Wolverine's origin and then a really stupid plot about trying to weaponize the Hulk once more. Those plots always fucking suck. So yeah, this thing certainly has flaws. It certainly has problems. I would not say it's bad. I certainly am not going to say that the movie is shit. It most certainly is not. But still, I would say rent it first before making any choices to buy, because I honestly felt a little bit let down, and this is certainly the weakest out of all the Marvel movies I've watched this fucking month. That's pretty frickin' sad. Now, I've got one more Marvel movie this month to cover. I've got one more DC movie to cover this month. And looking at them both, I don't know what to think. But you know what? I'm happy I'm past this. I'm happy I'm done with Hulk fucking versus. Now I don't have to worry about it anymore. As much as I'd love to, watch more Hulk themed shit or more fucking Wolverine or Thor centric stuff, I'm just not in the mood. I'm just gonna go read. I right now I'm in the middle of 3, maybe 4 different comics. I'm gonna go pick up one of those. I'm going to go and read that because hopefully, well, actually, most of those, the story is a lot better than what I saw here, but that's not saying much. So I'm going to go and enjoy that. I'm going to just go and relax and chill. And with that, my friends, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care. I will see you all in the near future. Peace.